years too, if everything goes okay. I think another mission to fulfill what you're saying is to reduce the level of expenses of the government in a useless manner. We need to invest. We need to produce employment. We have to make our country safe, precisely for what you say. How can you invest in a country with completely unstable? It doesn't go together. So I think that governments and we that are leading our countries have to be very conscious and address the funds, the public funds, to the areas in which we can help the people in a very integral way. It's not making politics with public funds. That's the most easy way of doing politics. Taking money and giving to the people. That's not the way I'm doing. Investing the public budget needs to have a good component of investment in social things, social areas. I think that brings stability. We have to recover our credibility. The politicians are very low in credibility for many reasons. So we have to regain the credibility of the people that we are doing what we are doing for them, not for me, for them.
So I'll take education in the long term, but in a year, if we meet again, it would be responsible spending. The finance minister was, I think, rolling his eyes a little bit, so it's up to him in many ways. President Noboa.
Youth occupation. We need to check on the tornado chart of our population. South America is very young. In the case of Ecuador, 40% of the people are between 14 and 35. So is again, look at the population, of policy for that population. Easier access to jobs, technical schools, trade schools, and of course, education. But it's not as simple as that. Is to follow up and to help that young man or woman to find a better life. It's not only give them the education, find them a job, find them meaning, help them find meaning for themselves, and give them hope. Give them hope that they're going to live as well or better than their parents.
It goes back to the shame and pride equation that we were talking about. Nair Woods.
I agree with President Noboa. The most important is that governments actually set out a strategy, a vision that gives their citizens hope. In too many countries, politicians are saying, we've got to manage the mess that our predecessors made, we've got to manage our international relations with the superpowers, and they're failing to set out a strategy of where the country can go that actually gives their young people hope and a sense that they'll have a future. I also wanted to pick up on President Noboa's point about illicit flows, because that will crucify the ability to do a strategy. And the single most important thing for me is crypto. Because I sat here in Davos last year listening to security chiefs and financial controllers talking about, as the global economy goes crypto, governments, regulators, integrity organizations lose all control of illicit funding. And I think that's something that we should come back to next year.
Absolutely. 30 seconds here.
So let me concentrate on the regional aspect, because I agree with education, illicit flow. From a regional perspective, in a year, if we have agreements like the EU-Mercosur that has actually started to implement, if I see the region having more agreements between Central America or between North and Central or South connection, if I see more of that actually being implemented, I think it's a good step forward.
Wonderful job in doing it in 25 seconds. Thank you so much. This year's theme in Davos is the spirit of dialogue, and I think we see that as an aspiration, and the only way that we can make that happen is through conversations that matter. I really hope this conversation mattered to you and it was of your interest. I appreciate President Noboa, President Mulino, Nair Woods, and Ian Goldschmidt for their time and for their incredible insights. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.